Can go in.
All right, hey guys, welcome to 1 Million Cups. We're gonna go ahead and kick it off. Can you hear me? Is this working?
I don't think
Is it on now? Yeah. All right, we're pretty good when it's quiet like this. When the air kicks on, we need the microphone. Anyway, thank you for coming to 1 Million Cups. Welcome to the Innovation Hub. Who has never been here before? Awesome. Thank you for coming. All right, so we have tons of events this week. This is part of Global Entrepreneurship Week. I'll tell you first about 1 Million Cups. So this is run by the Kauffman Foundation. It's a national program in so many different cities across the nation. Happens every Wednesday at 9 a.m. We bring 1 to 2 entrepreneurs who share their story for 6 minutes, followed by a 20-minute Q&A. But this week in particular is part of Global Entrepreneurship Week. So this is an international program also run by the Kauffman Foundation. This is Little Rock's first time to have a chapter, but it's basically a week-long sort of celebration and acknowledgement of entrepreneurship. So we have like 18 different events going on this week. My friend Steve Rice is here from the Venture Center. They're one of our partners this week. So directly following this in our co-working space, Verizon is doing a big like Internet of Things event, which you guys can just swing by if you want to. But one of our sponsors this week is the Delta Regional Authority. So we're super, super happy to have them with us today. They're helping us make this week happen. And Rebecca is here to talk to you guys about the DRA, but I'll let her tell you about that. But anyway, thank you so much for being here. I'll go ahead and pass it off to you.
Thank you. I'm Rebecca Kauffman. I'm with the Delta Regional Authority, and we are really excited to be a sponsor of Global Entrepreneurship Week. We are a small federal-state partnership that really focuses on economic development in the Delta region, which is more than just East Arkansas for us. It's Southern Illinois, all the way to New Orleans and part of Alabama. And we really believe in small businesses and entrepreneurship and the innovation and drive that exists in the Delta region. So we are really excited to be a part of this. And thanks for having us.
Thank you. So we're going to go ahead and get it started. Our first presenter is Russell Smith, and he's part of the Passport program. So 1 Million Cups has a program where if you've presented at any other 1 Million Cups in the nation, you have basically a free pass to present anywhere else. So he's presented at like, I don't know, 6 or 7 around the nation, I think, a lot.
Keep going.
So, all right. So he drove in this morning from Springfield, I think. So anyway, let's give him a warm also for driving all the way here, and I'll go ahead and pass it off to you.
You're welcome. I'm actually going to have a little bit of a hard time holding that.
Okay.
And talking. Yeah. Can you guys hear me fine? As Kim mentioned, my name is Russell Smith. My background is applied mathematics and physics. And upon graduating college, my goal was to start designing products and then partner with somebody that could push them to the market for me. And I started out with designing some pneumatic motors, and then I got into designing some gasoline engines. And it's kind of one of those odd things. I was having a hard time finding somebody that could push me to the market for me. Until one day I finally came across the #1 real estate agent in the Springfield, Missouri area. And he came to me and he said, Russ, I've been doing real estate for about 30 years, and you can't imagine the problems that I've experienced trying to set up even the small residential service. The problem with trying to fit them into your vehicle, trying to get them into the ground without damaging the sign, trying to find a facility to store them. These are all problems that he came to me with. And 24 hours later, I invented the world's first foldable banner frame. That's what I'm going to show you here. Grab the clicker here.
Oh, you got it.
Part of the product I can't really demonstrate too well inside, so I'm going to have to show you. Can we hit play here?
Press space bar. Jim.
That one's up, what is it? I don't know.
There it is. There you go down the slide.
Does it go?
You get the play at the bottom, yeah.
I thought I don't see a play at the bottom.
Look up on the screen, you might be able to see it. There you
Oh.
go.
Here, you want to jump in here now?
Sure.
Maybe not?
Say unavailable as well.
Yeah.
Must be a Mac.
Did you copy the video over with it?
Yeah, I've used this before on other presentations, so it's okay, we can do without it. We can do without it. Which makes it a little bit harder. So, this top piece here, this is the actual sign part itself. Okay, this is the frame. This is simply an attachment. It's our indoor stand. You'll hear later on that we have a variety of different attachments for this to go on. So, as you can see, the frame itself is pretty compact. It's small. Okay, I can fit about 20 of these in the trunk of my car. Now, the concept here is that this pin at the bottom, if I remove that, there's a stake inside this tube that slides out. And then I take this pin and I put it back into this hole here. And what that allows me to do is actually use the frame itself as the post drive. So I can easily put it into the ground in a matter of a minute. I also designed it so that the top of the stake catches on the bottom of the frame where I can use it as a reverse hammer. So I can actually drive the stake out of it as well. So I designed it to not require any tools whatsoever to set up or take down. Now, once you get it mounted firmly in the ground, then you can start removing pins. And notice that it's all one piece here. I don't have parts that I can leave at home necessarily, or tools that I'm missing. It's designed to all be one part. I'm going to use these same pins that were holding the arms closed. These are the same pins that I'm going to use to hold the banner on the frame. Nice thing about this is that anybody can set it up by themselves just about anywhere in a matter of 2 to 3 minutes. Odd thing is this is actually easy. This is a commercial size sign, and it's easier to use than your standard residential small signs. Just got too many features. Now, once you get 3 of the 4 corners of the banner attached, this is where things I think get pretty cool. This is and you have a full size commercial sign. Now notice I'm reaching around here and removing this final pin. Okay, so I just did that in a matter of a couple minutes. And it comes down just as easily. One of the nice things about this design is that the majority of the signs that are set up anywhere, they blow over. When you get to 40-mile-an-hour winds. I designed this to where it's gravity fed in the back. It actually gives movement. This thing here, as is, in the ground, will withstand 80-mile-an-hour winds. And I actually wind tested it by bolting it on the back of the truck and down the highway. So it works pretty well. Any questions?
Yeah, so we can go ahead and open up. Are you ready for Q&A?
Yeah.
All right, so just raise your hand and ask a question over here.
So for that real estate agent, what's your primary, your market right now? Is the agent, the real estate type agent your market, or someone who needs a bigger sign like this?
Great question. Like I said, my business partner was the number one real estate agent in my area. And so I designed it originally just for real estate. Now, as he went on doing the marketing for the product, he found that every business can use this product. I mean, he's going to golf courses, and right off the bat, they're going, I want 18 of them. I'm going to put one at each hole and sell the advertising space. Because of how easy it is to set up and take down, it's now a marketing tool. It's not just a sign, it's a marketing tool. And we're finding that it's actually more affordable and effective for marketing your business than radio and TV ads combined. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. The sign itself, not the structure. Do you also do the graphics?
We do everything. Yeah. Absolutely. We do everything.
What is your price point that you need?
Depends on quantity, obviously. There's a question I prefer to answer before that, but retail for one of those, it's about $6.95 just for one, and that includes this frame. Now, let me just mention this here real quick. The average, like commercial real estate sign, it averages about $500 per unit. Okay, when you're looking at the nice ones, okay, the ones that represent your company well, the wood ones, okay, you have to pay for the materials, you have to pay somebody to do the artwork, you have to pay somebody to load it in their vehicle, deliver it, you have to pay for storage of it, okay, and usually they're only a one-time use. Okay, that's the catch. Okay, the storage and the one-time use. Okay, those are hard to improve on those wooden signs. Okay, this is something that you can use over and over again. You can store it conveniently in your vehicle. Imagine as soon as you got a closing, okay, and your client looks at you, as a real estate agent, looks at you and says, when do I get my sign in? Until now, the answer had to be a week to 2 weeks. Okay, because he always had to wait on your sign guy to go out and put up a sign. Imagine being the only one in the area that can put the sign up now. It's huge. So it's the $6.95. You're buying a reusable product as opposed to something that's a one-time purchase. Yeah.
How do you plan on I guess overall marketing, would you prefer to do what you're doing now, or do you plan on putting it in stores and let the stores do?
I'll tell you what, I want to be in a shop designing all kinds of cool stuff. Okay. I don't want to be doing marketing. No, that's my partner's stuff. He just wasn't able to make it today. You're kind of asking along the lines of what our business model is. Is that kind of what you're asking? What we're doing now is we're setting up reps and distributors throughout the country. We have them in Des Moines, Iowa, Kansas City, Missouri, St. Louis, Missouri, Tulsa, Oklahoma. We even have them out in Colorado and Chattanooga, Springfield, Missouri. We're growing. We're growing quick. And so we're quickly changing from retail to mostly just wholesale. We're setting up distributors.
So I would want to find out about it who doesn't know anything. Say for instance, if I was walking past the store, I was inside the store and I seen it, I was like, oh wow, as opposed to, that's me not knowing to me.
Yeah, that's actually the hardest part about marketing this product is when you see it up, it looks like a sign. It's a very professional looking sign, but you don't see the feature set.
Yeah.
So you have to have somebody that's demonstrating it live. I don't know if anybody watched our video before I presented, but I can guarantee that you didn't get this from it. You have to see it live. And so that's why our business model makes sense for our product. Yes, we're setting up reps and distributors, people that can go out and market it for us, demonstrate it.
Is this your full-time job?
Absolutely.
Can you talk about how you got started with it and why?
Why? Yeah, absolutely. It actually started about maybe 30 years ago with my business partner. He was at the time 13-year-old kid sitting on a plane next to the A-Stream Wichita State University flight, just moments before he departed. And of course, he ran over to meet him, and she had a mother's premonition that he shouldn't be on the flight. And so, needless to say, he didn't go. He went on to school instead, which some people think is just as fun. But when he got home, he found out that the plane had actually crashed, and everybody on it died. And it just so happened that his uncle Ray, who was a real estate agent, was on that plane. And he remembers just a couple weeks prior to that crash, going out and setting up real estate signs with his Uncle Ray and watching him struggle, put them up, and find a location that's soft enough to put him in the ground without tearing up his vehicle and keeping tools and all this. And he remembers distinctly that his Uncle Ray said, someday somebody is going to reinvent the sign to make it a more practical product. And so Ken, my business partner, pursued that periodically, once in a while, over the last 30 years, and he was unable to find anybody that could invent this product. So that's what you're asking for.
Any other questions?
Yeah,
What other designs do you have?
a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Full-length designs?
Yeah, I designed this in 24 hours. Okay. Now, my goal is to entirely revolutionize the sign. It's been the same design for the last 100 years plus. It's time that somebody, me, designed things that are a little bit easier to use. I have about 8 or 9 other sign inventions. Some that are better than this, in my opinion. This is just easiest for me to manufacture for us to get going. So, is that going to answer your question?
You, just patented, I guess?
Absolutely. Yep, absolutely.
And how was your process for that?
Long and boring. Yeah, talk about time consuming, expensive. What? We'll find out.
So given we're, in a makerspace here.
Yeah, I love this facility.
Yeah, could you talk a little bit about the process of how you went from.
Absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. It's, my business partner, he gave me a list, I think it's about 10 problems that he's experienced with signs. I mentioned a couple of them earlier, tools, hard to get in your vehicle, hard to store, yada, 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 yada. And so I had that list sitting on my desk, and pot of coffee in one hand, and pen and paper in the other. And usually what I do is what I'm doing now is I pace back and forth, and I think, I write something down. Okay, that's garbage. Throw that away. And write down another thing until I got it right again. It solves all the problems.
So from a piece of paper into the prototype, did you use a facility such as this to kind of,
No.
check out CNC bars?
No, I wish I had that luxury. I had a chair and a desk in my house, and that's it, pretty much. I sat down, I did all the calculations for the design as far as the structure of it goes. And it was actually interesting because I calculated these bars here to be what they are now as far as thickness goes. And I was like, it's too complicated. I'm just going to make them a little bit smaller. I'm not going to trust the math. I'm just going to make them a little bit smaller. Well, I wind tested it, and guess what, man? So I put this to what my calculation said. 80-mile-an-hour works. So it's amazing what they're able to do.
Cool. So, as you know,
Yep.
we end all 1 million cups the same way. It's just I asked you, what's one thing that you can do to help you?
Yeah, and with all the 1 million cups I've done, it's still not going to be an answer. No, you guys spreading the word through Twitter and Facebook. Before you guys leave here today, just send out a hashtag or whatever. That'd be great. I'm in Little Rock today. If you know anybody that would potentially be interested in either using this product or becoming a distributor or a rep, those are my biggest goals, is finding a distributor and rep while I'm here for this area.
So you got by the zoo, they're always changing signs year round. So zoos, I think, would be a potential nice market.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Golf courses there.
Chambers of Commerce are a big one.
Very good.
It's kind of
Yeah.
like a concept market when it comes to that type of business. I don't think you can go to right.
Excuse me?
I don't think you can go to right in all the places that you're predominantly.
Yeah. This
It's like-
is my first time here in, 10 years.
You need to go
Yeah,
see, you
definitely.
go demonstrate that to somebody right now, they'll be like, "Man,
Yeah, well, it's actually interesting. I've done this a couple times, as Kim has mentioned, and I can actually, starting from scratch, I can set up 8 appointments today. With owners of sign companies, marketing companies, you name it. I'm tired of it, but I can do it. It's nice to have help. Do we have time?
Oh, sure.
How did you, Guerrilla Signs, how did you come up with the name?
I didn't actually. That was my partner. It's actually a strike of genius if you think about it. It's as he's pursued the marketing of this, we found out that it is a guerrilla marketing tool. It allows you to go out and be aggressive with your marketing and get clients. And so that's where Guerrilla, spelled like the guerrilla marketing, comes from. It's a little bit confusing to those sometimes initially. Once you get the story,
Awesome. Thank you, Russell.
yeah, I can save a little bit of time out of his work.
All right, our next presenter is Mark?
Matt.
Matt, so sorry, I just met him like 5 minutes ago. Shoal. So Carlos, where are you, Carlos? You have been coming to 1 million cups for a long time, so we're so glad you guys are presenting today. Aristotle Labs, I'm sure you're familiar with Aristotle, but they're going to talk to us about this. And Matt is the director of Aristotle Labs. He's going to tell us a little bit about that. I'll let you get rolling. Are you good?
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks. Yeah, Aristotle Labs is kind of a startup that's coming out of Aristotle. And Aristotle's been around for 20 years, 21 years. And in the past, we've done a lot of internet service provider type of stuff, and then also web development for people like Arkansas.com, Gulf Shores, San Jose, a lot of tourism. But last year, in 2015, in May of 2015, we started Aristotle Labs, and it started with an idea that we're going to talk about today. But what Aristotle Labs does is help empower businesses to use digital engagement to reach their users, to reach their customers on site. And one of the products that we use to do that is called Beacon Sage. And Beacon Sage is a product that allows you to create content using a web page and then deliver that content to the user straight to their mobile devices. To give you an idea of what Beacon Sage does exactly, here's a little video to talk about it.
Reaching and engaging customers can be difficult for any business. Beacon Sage helps you capture new audiences by putting the power of the Internet of Things in your hands. With a Bluetooth beacon, you can deliver information about new deals to potential customers as they pass by your storefront. create daily specials that bring in new visitors and build customer loyalty. Attraction owners, enhance your visitors' experience with interactive on-site content. Event coordinators, provide attendees with real-time updates right at their fingertips on their mobile devices. Realtors, now you can showcase your properties 24/7, rain or shine, even when you're not there. With Beacon Sage, you can easily create engaging content, send notifications to prospects and customers, and track user analytics, all from one simple Beacon content management system. Where will Beacon Sage take your business? The opportunities are endless. The future of on-site mobile engagement is here. Let Beacon Sage show you the way.
So you can see that there's a number of uses for Beacon Sage to be able to reach customers on location. We're using a technology called the physical web, and just to get geeky for a minute, the physical web is a part of the Internet of Things, which is kind of this ambiguous term that no one knows what to do with. But we're trying to put practical feet under using this technology to drive user engagement while they're there in the store and at your business. And so it uses the physical web, which literally means attaching a web page to a physical object. And there's three things that you need in order to do this, and this is what Beacon Sage does. The first thing you need is a web page. And we've been making web pages for many years now, right? Like almost everybody has a web page, whether it's a LinkedIn profile or you have your own website. And so using a web page, we can do some pretty incredible things. With Beacon Sage, you can create content that is showing different like videos or social media posts. You can also show a photo gallery, and even e-news sign up using a form, things that people can engage with. So here it's showing a card where you can show information and have links to other parts that maybe would be your website or other web pages on the internet. Also, you can get really fun with it and use APIs. So right now we have a product in Beacon Sage called Beacon Sage RE that's for the real estate market, and it connects to the Carmel's database for Central Arkansas, and it will create this page for the realtor. So they don't even have to create the page, it creates it for them, and it can showcase all types of information like the pricing, the photo gallery. They can save the listing and share it to Facebook or even email it to themselves. You can do a 360 tour, have some more information, such as the school district it's in and directions. And then of course you can always contact the realtor as well. And then you can also get interactive with it and create something like what we call our scratch off feature. And this allows you to give coupons to people, give deals to people using a little scratch off, which is really fun, and people can save the reward and use it later when they're, even if they're not on location, they can use it in your store later. So web pages have been around for a long time. They're really flexible and easy to use and easy to build. So we've got awesome content that we want these users to see, but when we need a way to deliver that content, and what we're going to use is a beacon to do that. And a beacon is just a small Bluetooth device, and I actually have one here in my pocket. And what this device does is just broadcast that URL to that web page every single second. That's all it does. It has about 2 to 3 years battery life on a little coin cell battery, so you can replace the battery really easily. There's an on-off button. It's weatherproof, it's shatterproof, it's dustproof. We've had a lot of fun testing that theory at the lab. And the proximity of it, you can go up to 300 feet, or you can make it really personal, and you can make it only broadcast that URL out just a couple of feet away. And what this, it's really affordable. They're about $25, and depending on the model that you get, they start at $25. So let's take that realtor page that we saw earlier, where it created that page about the listing. Let's say the realtor took a beacon and placed it at the house. When someone walks within range of that beacon, they would get a notification on their phone, and then they can swipe from the lock screen to see that information and to contact that realtor, even without knowing the realtor at all. Because most people, when they're looking for a house, they'll spend about 30 days just driving around and looking for places to go. Let's take, also, so now we've got really great content that we want users to see. We've got a way to deliver that content to them. And the last step is having a way for them to see that on their phone. And we do that in a couple of ways. Android users next month, this is actually going to be baked into the operating system. So you're going to be able to pull down your notifications without an app and see all the beacons that are around you. And that's really cool. That's what we want. iOS users, not so lucky yet. So there is an app that allows you to see what beacons are around you, and that's the Beacon Sage app. And if you haven't already, there's a little card that Carlos has been passing out that talks about how to download Beacon Sage. We're going to have some demos at the end to look at. So download Beacon Sage, and we can look at that. And I know what you're thinking, right? It's like, do we really need another app? It seems like a lot of people have app fatigue nowadays, and it's really hard to get people to download an app. But with all the things that require an app nowadays, if Moore's law is any indication of what's going to continue happening over even just the next few years, those things are just going to continue to grow in number. One of the examples that I really love using is a mall. If you go to a mall and there's 50 different stores, are you really going to download 50 different applications to interact with those stores, to get their deals, their coupons, or whatever information you want from them? That doesn't really scale, and it doesn't really make sense. But what if there was one application that allowed you to see all the things that are around you? And that's what we've done with Beacon Sage. Get caught up here. There we go. And that's what we've done with Beacon Sage. So with one app, you're able to go to the zoo. Little Rock Zoo right now has about 50 different beacons that they're going to be deploying over this next month. And you can see different information about their different animal exhibits or what's on the menu at the Cafe Africa. And we've got an example of what that looks like here. So they've got a beacon. It's broadcasting out this URL that talks about Cafe Africa and what's going on. They can even hook in their Instagram feed and get people to socially engage with them through social media. Also, we've got different stores that are about to start testing our scratch-off deals coupon feature, and this allows them, it kind of hooks them in, right? It brings them back to the store because you can set the parameter where they have to wait a day in order to do another scratch-off. So it brings people back to that store and that location. Also, Turpentine Creek Wildlife Refuge is using beacons right now to showcase their animal exhibits. And they're showing different information about the animals. So they're showcasing different information about the animals. They're even showing a donate button so you can sponsor that animal. Then a Bam Bam the Bear photo gallery. She's a really cool person. And then also you can sign up for their e-newsletters as well. So this is what this is what we're going to empower businesses to engage with their customers through this content. It's a digital engagement tool, and soon it's a proximity engagement tool. But soon, over this next quarter, we're going to start moving into proximity marketing and working into there. So that is Beacon Sage. Any questions?
So I got a question for you. So I'm gonna put this down. I kind of want to challenge your statement that it would be really cool native in the OS to have beacons pop up everywhere you go.
Yes.
Because if you think about this, you have nothing but beacons pop up on your screen.
Yeah.
So how early are we in this technology, and where do you think it's going? Because it seems like we need one app to rule them all, so to speak, of all the thinking, the beacon companies around and, all that kind of thing before we have this filter through and stop the noise.
Well, we're obviously early in the technology. It came out about 2014. The good news is that these notifications aren't loud notifications, right? So in the video, you saw people pulling out their phones, but what prompted them to do that wasn't their phone beeping or their phone buzzing in their pocket. These are silent notifications that you saw on there. We have different signs. There's a little sign that's about this big, and when we're trying to educate people that when you see that symbol, you know that you can look at your phone and see something that's relevant around you. So that way it doesn't bug people. I think that's the first step. Then what do you do once we really start exponentially growing in the next 2 years? And there's beacons maybe everywhere. I think we're going to get really smart with that because it's kind of like the beginning of the internet when Yahoo started, filtering everything into categories, and then we moved into the search engine age, and we kind of progressively got from there. I think we're going to see that type of progression, and we've already started working with ranking factors. What we use right now is whatever is closest to you is at the top of the list. So that way you know exactly what's closest to you. Then I think you can start ignoring beacons. Like you could, tell it, I don't want to see any beacons from this provider anymore. Then maybe it starts learning, well, you like beacons that deal with sports clothing. So I'm going to maybe rank those a little higher than these others that you don't care about. I think we're going to start getting real smart about it as we continue to go.
Yeah. Your first two examples were recreational time where people decide to go see the animals and they want to learn about it.
Yeah.
What other markets have shown interest in using it?
Yeah, attractions right now is a great market because people are willing to download an app and an attraction that gives them more information. Also, we're starting to see a lot in retail with the scratch-off coupons, getting people to come back, the rewards that they get. That's a huge incentive to get people to download the app so that they can get 15% off, they can get something for free. And then some other markets that we're starting to see things, or maybe not the coolest markets, but where people that work with chemicals, schools, there's different applications that we're seeing, but I think attractions and retail are the two that we're focusing on right now.
I can see a beacon in MSDSG. Well, not be an attractive thing for a company.
Absolutely. Yep.
You actually answered it.
Okay.
Kind of that way.
Do you have to have your Bluetooth on all the time?
Yes. Which, I have my Bluetooth on all the time anyway with Fitbit, and so it's always talking to that. The beacons themselves, the reason that they're able to last 2 to 3 years is because they're using the advertising packet in Bluetooth, so it's using very, very low energy. There's even beacons out there now that are starting to use ambient light as the power because the voltage is so low to put out that advertising packet. So we're experimenting with those things as well. But as far as your phone, yes, you do have to have Bluetooth on to see that.
Is there a Wi-Fi, version of this? Router technology or something?
Right.
Like that?
Yes. We're working with some MDNS stuff and Wi-Fi type beacons, but it's not something that's ready to go. But there is something out there sort of like it to protect it, right? Because you can put it behind a router with a password. Yes, and we're working to do some of that with the Bluetooth beacons as well, where maybe you have to have a certain cookie or something to be able to see certain types of beacons.
So you said it only works with Android right now?
No, it works on iOS with the Beacon Sage app.
Okay, well, Beacon Sage app. Okay, so Android is where it, use your Bluetooth and it's just gonna pop up there.
Yeah, you don't even need an app. Starting next month, they'll be rolling that out in the new update next month. So you don't even need an app.
With the Android people, or is it some type of filter function where you can say, hey, I want updates on this,
Yeah, so right now it's just based on proximity. They're doing the same thing. We're talking a lot with their physical web team at Google. They created the Eddystone beacon, the Google team did, but it's not a Google product. They don't want it to be a Google product. they want it to be a product that really neighbors and developers take and use and that businesses start using. So yes, they are there's a GitHub repo where we're all talking about the best way to do that. And so we're all sharing ideas and what works and what doesn't work. Beacon Sage was the first beacon app to have lock screen notifications. At first, it wasn't perfect, right? Like, we made some mistakes, but they were like, oh, this is great. If you did these things, it might make the experience better, and we worked to make it happen. So,
Any other questions? Okay, what is one thing we can do to help you?
yeah, so getting us in touch with businesses that might use this technology to reach their customers. So right now we're in the proximity engagement, getting them engaged with what's around them. This next quarter we'll be doing proximity marketing where people can start buying things through the beacons. And the biggest thing we're working on right now is getting with attractions. So right now we're in talks with Magic Springs, we're about Zoo. And so we're looking to have more contacts there. And then also with arenas like Verizon Arena and just getting contact there that can help us to, what's that? Yes, and the innovation hub. Yes, great. So we're just working to work with businesses to get the technology out there. And also we're working with realtors too. We're now using test cases around the area for their.
Beacon on Guerrilla sign.
Yes, on the Beacon on Guerrilla sign. There you go.
Drive by, hold your phone up there, you know.
Does it disappear when it's out of range?
What's that?
Does it disappear when it's out of range?
Yes.
Pop up, disappears out of 300 feet.
Correct. After 300 people, or whenever you set the proximity of that beacon to.
So it's not like this overwhelming list of notifications gonna be on your phone, all right? Just a short period of time.
Right. It's just what's around you, and so it's based on that proximity. And you can also change in our Beacon Sage platform at beaconsage.com. You can manage your beacons. You can schedule your beacons to point at a different URL at different points in the day. So you can really make it flexible and set it up, and then you go on about your day, and it just works for you. So, yeah.
Matt, on the real estate side, obviously I'm in the geofencing market, proximity marketing from my perspective. How is that going to be? I mean, it sounds like you're going to have hundreds and hundreds of those out there. From a geofencing perspective, how do you see that overlap or competing with you? Because at that point, you don't need a tech. You just use a geofence.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's I think about battery life. I think that's my biggest, because we talked about it a lot, and geofence I think would be better because you could set a wider. But I don't know that we want to let users set a wider stance. Like, if you're not 300 feet around that house, do we really want you to be able to see that information? The great part about Beacon Sage is when you go to a page, you can bookmark it for later. And so even when you're away, you can go back to your saved beacons and look at that information. And so we're trying to reconcile it that way a little bit as well. But yeah, it's a great question, and we're still wrestling with it. So yeah.
What kind of data analytics and stuff do you offer people who set up beacons? Like, what can the businesses see after?
Yeah, so right now it's very much like Google Analytics. So you're seeing how many page views and for new users versus returning users, information like that. We're going to get a lot deeper into our analytics as we continue to grow and grow the platform over this year. How many people bailed from the form before submitting it? How many people submitted the form? You can see that right now. It shows you all the entries. But also on the scratch off, how many people scratched off, how many people won each prize. I mean, it's going to get very deep into the analytics as we continue to grow. Yeah.
So would you just say that this is like a QR code on steroids?
Yeah. I always wait till somebody answers that question. Somebody asks that question because it seems very similar to the QR code. But there's one fundamental thing about the QR code, besides the fact that it never really took off, is that with a QR code, you have to, it makes you go to the information and do that. With this, the information finds you. So you're making sure that your information is getting on their phone before they leave the store. So that they don't miss the QR code that they walk by when they enter the store. And that's the biggest fundamental difference between QR codes and beacon technology.
Other thing real quick is, this is really about opportunity cost and engagement. The numbers behind this show that 72% of the adults in the United States have a smartphone. 90% of those people have that smartphone within arm's length ready to use at all times. So what that breaks down to is that 2/3 of the people that come onto your location have a device ready to use at all times that you can push information to and engage with them. If you don't have a way to engage with those people, you're losing out on the ability to contact 2/3 of the people that are coming looking for information, might be window shopping, might be in that micro moment where they're making a decision about your business. You're losing the opportunity to engage with them.
With full knowledge though, that like me, I'm moving away from my phone. Turn it off, I turn off notifications, so that's 73% of it.
Yep. That,
You
you
really
realize
are
that
our
our
people who are beginning to distance themselves from being inundated all the time with stuff being pushed at them. So.
And you're right, there is that segment of the population, but what we're seeing just from the numbers, the majority of the population is beginning to rely more and more on their mobile phone for all their information. There are more searches on Google done via mobile phone than there are in desktops now. People are moving away from the desktop, they're moving to mobile engagement.
It's not age related though, it's age related, right?
What's that?
It's age related. If you're a baby boomer,
Yeah, well, and I would say
it's out of space.
you're probably moving away because you get annoyed, right? I get annoyed with my phone. I hit all the notifications. And so that's why this technology can't be annoying, right? It's going to fail. And that's why we don't do the loud notifications. We want to do silent notifications so that when you see a little icon in a window, you know, okay, now I can look at my phone and see something relevant to where I'm at right now. And I think that's going to be key for this technology to explode.
To follow up on our question,
Yeah.
do you get data on how many hits, how many times the beacon hits the phone? So
Yes.
there's 300 people walking around the mall.
Yep.
Do you know how many of those?
Yes.
Regardless of whether they
We
answer.
can tell how many times that a beacon has been pulled up in a list on a phone. And that's because it uses, the beacons are on a short URL, have a short URL, and you're able to program, you know, what long URL you want that beacon to point to because it uses the same short URL, right? So whenever that short URL redirects to that page, we know how many times people.
But does the person have to do that? So I'm walking by, Bill the Bear.
No, are they able to check that number?
Pardon?
Are they able to check that number? Is that what you're saying?
But I'm just saying, my question is, regardless of whether the person sees the notification and opens it,
Right.
does it tell you that, or does it
Yes.
tell you how many times it actually hits the phone, period?
Both. So right now, it'll tell you how many people open the page. On this next month, I think it's in our roadmap to add that number where you see how many people it pulled up in their list or on their lock screen.
So you can see how many times the beacon hit a phone,
Right.
and how many, then you're gonna know how many times the beacon hit a phone and they look at it.
Right. Right.
Right now, it's just how many hits the phone.
Correct. Right now, how many people went to the page?
So of the 72%, do you know that? So 72% of the people walking around the mall,
Yeah.
if you had a beacon there,
Right. Yes. You
all
would-
that 72%, how many phones are getting hit?
In January, you'll be able to know how many times someone had a phone and that beacon picked up on their phone, whether they opened it or not, whether they reached their phone.
Now, that's if they have the app or if they have,
Well, yeah. Well,
I'm just saying-
if they have a beacon app, not necessarily the Beacon Sage app, they can use other beacon apps that are out there. There are others.
My question is, hers and his. I have never heard.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
better.
Oh, I didn't before creating this product, right?
So if I don't have my
It's a
beacon
shit.
on,
Yeah. It's
I'm one of the
actually a
people
shit.
walking around the mall, it's irrelevant about the beacons, right?
Right. Exactly.
So that's why I'm wondering, if 72% of the people right now are using their phones for everything, which is
Right.
all my kids.
Right. Yeah.
Kim knows them all.
Yeah.
Right, they don't, this is a tether.
Yeah.
It's an umbilical cord to this. They
Right.
never set it down.
Yeah.
I can tell you for a fact, that's the way it is, because I used to teach
Yeah.
at college, and every single person
Yeah.
It's on their phone. I don't have to tell people to be quiet anymore. Tell them to put their phones away.
Yeah.
It's sad. But if everybody's 70% of the population doing that, don't you want to know how many people have their Bluetooth on?
Yes.
Right. And that's what I'm wondering, is it 50%?
Well, then you gotta subdivide that based on, are
Right,
they
so
Android
because
or
then
iPhone
you're
users?
cool, the number of people you have to engage with, they're shrinking.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if you had that number.
We do have the number, I don't have it with me, but I'll give you my card and I'll be able to shoot it over to you.
Sure. All right, I have another question.
Yep.
So strategically,
Yeah.
Aristotle Labs is,
Yeah.
and maybe this answers some of that. Aristotle Labs is basically your, your experimental part of the company. It's the new.
It's its own company.
Yes, yeah. So do you see this as a first step of something bigger?
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, that's the thing, we're early adopters, right?
Yeah.
And we're moving and getting people like Little Rock Zoo, Garden Gardens, and Hot Springs, just about 50 beacons, and we'll be growing it like
And I think it's a perfect.
And so I think it's going to take some time. I think we're early into this game, and but we want to be the people that fail first so that we can learn and also share, right? Like that's ultimately what we want to do, is share our experience so that as this technology becomes more popular, because our goal as Aristotle Labs is to mainstream the technology. And we've got very strategic ways that we're going to do that over the next 2 to 3 years planned out. And you're right, and I think it's going to take a shift of people turning on Bluetooth and doing all that. You're absolutely right. But we're going to educate people to that. And so you're right.
No, I would not have known that I need to have a Bluetooth.
Right. And that's why we created these cards.
We need a QR code on the bottom of the sign.
But that's why we created these cards. And that's why we have signs, and it's why we have a little icon there. So that we start training people and educating them to know that when they see that symbol, that they're like, oh, I can see something that's around me. And it's kind of like Shazam. When a commercial pulls up and you see the little Shazam icon at the bottom, I don't have Shazam. A lot of people don't have Shazam. But there are a lot of people that use it to give that information. And I do see a day where you see this icon, because this is not just an icon we created. This is the physical web icon that's been created by the physical web community. I see a day where you'll see that on a commercial, and you'll know that you can look at something and see some information about what's showing on your TV. So, yes.
I think I have one more question over here.
So what's your main competition for you in this market or just outside the state?
Yeah, right now it's been great because up to the last couple of months, we haven't had a lot of competition, and now we're starting to see some competition. With our realtor product, there is other realtor-focused beacon companies that are coming out even in Memphis. And so we're seeing some competition there. They're using a different type of beacon, right? So we're saying that the web is an awesome platform to build on because it's cross-browser and everything. And so there's differing things there, but they are considered competitive. Also, there are plenty of beacon manufacturers that have started creating their own content where people can create content, but they're hardware people and they really suck at creating awesome software. So we know the software really well. That's what we've done for the last 21 years. And we've partnered with KS Technologies out of Colorado, who they, for the last 20 years, have been doing hardware technology. In the last 5 years, have been doing beacon technology. Partnering with them made that partnership made it all much stronger for our company to kind of blow past the competition. And so we're working with them to do things like, in the future, you'll be able in our platform to change the proximity settings of beacons from your Beacon Sage account online. Instead of having to go to the beacon and open an app and change any of the physical settings, you'll be able to do that from our platform. We're working to do those type of things that really set us apart. And right now, it's with the scratch off. You don't see that anywhere. And so that's the type of software things we can do to set us apart. So yeah, that's where we're going.
Are you gonna be here for a second after?
Yes, yes.
All right.
I'd love to answer more questions.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Thanks.
Nice job.
Can I ask you just one more, last one real quick? You go to the zoo, you have a sign that says turn your Bluetooth off or more educational experience or anything?
That's what those cards are for, yes.
We have these for every client that just.
Have them make you a big sign in the front.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like, I won't see that, but if there was a sign out front.
Well, those are handed to you by
As you walk into the zoo.
Oh,
You take it, they hand you one. Say,
Still need a sign.
Yes, we do have signs.
I'll shove that in my pocket.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll think it's a coupon.
Yeah.
If there was a big sign that says, you know what, you dummies, turn on your Bluetooth.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so
I need
much
that.
to Matt and the rest of the guys. Thank you for all the great questions today. So real quick, thanks to our sponsors, the Coffee Foundation, the Innovation Hub, Davis Coffee, and the Delta Regional Authority. Couple quick announcements. Thank you for putting up with all the noise today. Like I said, we have tons of stuff going on in here. There's an event happening right now in the co-working space if you guys want to drop by there. I think they have it's an IoT type event. They have virtual reality stuff if you want to just swing by and see what's going on in there. So we won't have 1 million cups next week because of Thanksgiving, and the following week moving forward, we'll be back in the co-working space. If you or someone you know wants to present, let me know, or one of the organizers know, and thanks to my organizers for helping out with all of this, and the Innovation Hub team for helping make this happen. Quick announcement, this is my last week at the Innovation Hub, so I'll still be working with 1 million cups, but maybe not as an MC, but anyway, just so you guys know. But thank you for everything and being a supportive of the community. Let me know if you have any questions about the hub or 1 million cups, and we'll see you 2 weeks from now. Thanks.